The vice chair of the Federal Reserve, Lael Brainerd, has, basically said that king has no clothes. I'm quoting, the retail margin for motor vehicles sold at dealerships has increased by more than 180% since February 2020. February 2020, of course, was the month before we knew about the coronavirus. That started in March. And so, that's kind of a reference point. Profit margins are up 180% in car dealerships? Brainerd goes on to say there is ample room for margin recompression to help reduce goods inflation in the retail economy. Recompression, in other words, dialing back the obscene profits. Brainerd went on to say, quote, retail margins have increased 20% since the onset of the pandemic, roughly double the 9% increase in average hourly earnings by employees in that sector. In the auto sector, retail margin for motor vehicles sold at dealerships has increased by more than 180% since February 2020, 10 times the rise in average hourly earnings within that sector. And yet, the Fed's entire focus on inflation is on wages. Oh my God, wages are going up. We got to do something about this. It reminds me of 1997 Wall Street Journal, Alan Greenspan. One of the most important parts of my job is to maintain a certain minimum necessary level of worker insecurity. Right. Meanwhile, on Monday, they write over at Common Dreams, Chicago Federal Reserve President Charles Evans said that the central bank's number one priority is reducing inflation, even if monetary policy tightening costs people their jobs. They're talking about another 3/4 of a point interest rate next month, November, when the Fed meets. This is after 3 different economists told members of the U.S. House Committee on Oversight and Reform this week, or last week rather, that basically here's a quote from the Groundwork Collaborative, mega corporations are taking advantage of recent crises to make record profits for themselves and their shareholders. We're being robbed. We're being robbed blind by these giant corporations who can get away with it because they have no competitors. These are monopolies.